Hello there and welcome to my home office. I'm assuming this is going to end up on the internet, so I'll introduce myself. To those of you who don't know me, my name is Larry Luth and I'm the chairperson of Redeemer Christian Reformed Church here in Sarnia, Ontario. I wanted to take a few minutes to share a few things with those that regularly attend at Redeemer, and while I could have written it down, I thought, well, that's kind of impersonal, so I want to do a video. Pastor Joe does videos every week, so how hard can it be? And I can assure you that it is hard. This is take number 16 probably. So I hope that you learn something from this and that I can challenge you a little bit as well. I want to thank you each for your patience and support over the past few months. These have been challenging times for us as a church, and I know for many of you as well. And I want to thank you each for your continued prayer, support, and encouragement to us as a church, as church leaders, and to each other as well. So thank you for that. When council made the decision in mid-March to cancel our Sunday morning gathering, March the 15th, we had no idea how long this disruption would last, though. And though we did know that we had to move online. And for many of you, that was a new place to be. I know for many of you, that wasn't a place that was that you normally spent time. And so I want to thank you, all of you who spent the time to figure out how to Google Pastor Joe and find his YouTube video. For those of you who have joined us on Facebook or Discord or downloaded the Bridge app. I know for many of you this is something that's new and different, and I want to thank you for taking the time and the energy to learn this and to be part of us here online. Because we were not a place or a church that was online, we had to learn a few things. And yet we've been blessed every Sunday morning to have a weekly video message from Pastor Joe from his basement, or more recently from the waterfront, from the church's backyard and from somebody else's backyard. And I'm interested to find out where else we might find Pastor Joe giving his message. And I want to personally thank Pastor Joe and all those who are providing content for these videos. They encourage us and challenge us, and sometimes they surprise us with the hidden talents of different members of our congregation who are sharing those talents with us to bless us and sometimes make us laugh a little bit. Some of you may be wondering when we might be holding in-person gatherings again in our church building. I heard that some of you are eager to do that, and I know that some of you are more hesitant to gather together in a large group of people, with or without the social distancing measures in place. Just a few weeks ago, our council was working towards having some type of outdoor gathering over the summertime. And a closer look at the rules and regulations, and we noticed that just wasn't going to be possible. So council decided that under the circumstances, we would just not have or plan for in-person gatherings at the church building until at least September. I know for some of you this is disappointing, and maybe for some of you it was a relief. But managing the expectations and desires to get together while ensuring we provide a safe environment to do that is a tightrope that we as council are walking. But I do want you to know that in all of our discussions and decisions as council, we are committed to the health and well-being of all those that are part of our community. And we are also well aware that there's a spiritual and social well-being that needs to be considered as well. Over these summer months, council, along with the worship team and the ministry team, will spend time talking more about what in-person gatherings in our church building, or maybe outside of our church building, might look like, and what protocols would need to be put in place to keep all of the members of our community safe and mitigate the chances of the virus spreading in our circles. I'm probably not the first person to tell you that nothing is going to be the same again. COVID-19 and the steps that were needed to be taken to combat this have changed everything. It's changed the way we get groceries, the way we interact with people, the places we can go and when we can go there. It never ends. And so I think you need to be aware that this is going to change the way that we as a church function as we move forward as well. There are a number of conversations that are going on in different circles of our church about what we're going to look like when we return to in-person gatherings in the church building or outside of the church building. What are the things we want to hold tight to, and what are the things that we can let go loosely of? And how will we gather? Will it be back on Sunday mornings in a large gathering in the church building, or will it be in smaller groups in our homes, or will it be both? I'm thinking a lot about how we can learn from this time and lean into our vision of mirroring Jesus and embracing all. And in a time when inviting is the last thing we're allowed to do, how do we as a church invite people to become followers of Jesus and then grow in our relationship with Him? What does that look like? Perhaps it's a conversation over the fence or across the street with a neighbor. Or perhaps it's just reaching out and saying hello to that person that you meet every morning on your walk. And not just saying hello, but stopping to say, hey, what's your name? I've seen you every day. And how are you doing? And then seeing where that conversation goes. Or maybe it's something even more simple. So simple. It's a simple task of wearing a mask. To tell those around you, or in the store or in the mall, that you care about them. So maybe the invitation is an invitation to a conversation and not to a physical place. And maybe the conversation that you're going to have is the time when the growing happens. The growing together is in the conversation. And in those conversations, it's where the Holy Spirit is going to teach you something. Over the summer, I hope you have a chance to have these conversations with other church members about these things from socially distanced, of course. And that you have time to think and pray and mull those things over as well. I, for one, am excited about the future, to see what God has in store for us here at Redeemer and in Sarnia as we mirror Jesus and embrace all. Finally, I want to thank you for taking care of each other. Through our calls and your distant visits and your prayers, you're doing the work that God calls us to do. These are difficult times and different times, and yet God continues to care for His people, and you are part of that care. So thank you for that. Thank you for taking the time to spend with me. I hope you've learned something. I hope that you've been encouraged and perhaps challenged as well. So thank you.